Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the American University in Cairo and this very special evening. I'm the executive director of the American University in Cairo Press. My name is Thomas Wilshire, and I have the honor of asking you all to silence your phones. And then I have the dual honor of welcoming to the podium the president of the American University in Cairo, Dr. Ahmed Elghandour.
Thank you, Tom. Your Excellency, Engineer Ibrahim Mahlab, former Prime Minister of Egypt. Your Excellency, Amr Moussa, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Egypt. Distinguished officials of the Egyptian government and public leaders whose service and contributions have shaped Egypt's national and regional landscape. Our guest of honor, Professor Sir Magdi Yacoub, Professor of Cardiothoracic Surgery at the National Heart and Lung Institute, Imperial College of London. Mr. Ahmed Elghandour, host of Al-Dahih, who will be having the conversation with Sir Magdi Yacoub. Family and friends of Sir Magdi Yacoub, distinguished partners, members of the AUC community, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to the American University in Cairo. We are honored to celebrate the life and work of Sir Magdi Yacoub, whose contributions have transformed his field and the ways doctors care for patients. His life is an example of dedication, knowledge, and service. Tonight, we launch the paperback edition of A Surgeon and the Maverick, the life and pioneering work of Magdi Yacoub. Authors Simon Pearson and Fiona Gorman tell his story with depth and clarity, tracing a life shaped by vision, perseverance, and humility. First published in October 2023, the book quickly gained recognition in Egypt and abroad. We look forward to an engaging conversation this evening, led by AUC alumnus Ahmed Elghandour, class of 2016. Through Al-Dahih, he has brought science and critical thinking to millions in an accessible way, embodying AUC's spirit of curiosity, creativity, and service beyond the classroom. Thank you, Professor Sir Magdi Yacoub and Ahmed, for being with us tonight. Thank you to the AUC press team, and thank you all for joining us. I now invite Professor Sir Magdi Yacoub and Ahmed Elghandour to the stage.
That's for you. Thank you. Thank you. سامعني أنا؟ Yes, no? Yes? Switch it on.
Hello? Okay. Now I feel heard. Okay. So, first of all, I'm totally honored to be around you, Professor. It's such a wonderful...
Too loud.
too loud. So how we compensate? طب how can I improve it?
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Can I have help? أكمل؟ بعده. اوكي الموضوع سهل كده. ثانية. Is this better? Perfect. Okay. So first of all, I'm truly honored to be around you, Professor, and to be here at Ewart Hall. Very thankful for AUC for offering me this opportunity, and for you, and also for my team who has helped me write the episode that we did on based on the book, which was truly a wonderful documentation of your journey. Today is my first ever experience with podcasting, so please forgive me if my questions aren't on point and if my thoughts aren't quick in responding. So let's start my performance of interviewing my first ever. So I'll start with a very controversial claim, in a way insulting your career and your interests. I totally think the heart is the most overrated organ.
I can't hear you very well.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, I think the heart is the most overrated organ ever.
Okay.
I think it lost its magic after the 1800s with the Industrial Revolution and the steam engine. Would you like to defend that?
While I agree with you that the heart is a pump, I strongly disagree that it is overrated.
Prove otherwise.
I'm sorry. I like to agree with you, but on this occasion, I have to disagree strongly. Why? Because the heart is a very special pump. It is a pump, all right? But it's a unique type of pump with many aspects which are unmatched, like what? It secretes its own hormones. It responds to hormones. It keeps every organ in the body alive. It predicts what's going to happen ahead of time and tries to correct it. Even if blood is starting to move, before it starts to move, the valves of the heart starts opening. So it's like magic. Biology of the heart, it is a pump, but it's very special pump. And more than that, it almost have a personality because
It's working. Sorry.
now you can hear. Wow. Wow. You see, it actually works. Not as good as the heart. But what I was going to say is what the heart does. It anticipates hemodynamic events. Like I said, things are going to happen ahead of time. The heart does it. And it is very quiet and noble. It goes on beating for all the time without bothering you. But in return, you have to look after it, huh? Because it is slightly demanding because it generates massive amount of energy. It contracts very strongly and coordinated fashion, but it needs blood supply, and that blood supply all the time. And if you eat a lot of fat and the cholesterol gets...
That's actually my problem. Like, what kind of a good pump would be affected by fried chicken?
Sorry, what's your problem?
Like, if it's a very good pump designed mechanically to be cool and strong and powerful, why would fried chicken cause problems in it and make it the leading cause of disease? And that's
I think everything in moderation is okay. You can eat fried chicken once a week.
okay.
Okay, maybe twice a week. But it's when you overdo things. If you go on smoking, if you don't control your blood pressure, if you just say, I am not vulnerable, aha, you'll have surprises. The heart will not serve you. But it is a noble organ.
I'm satisfied with that answer. Good job. I'm convinced now. So I'll try to get a bit telling like your journey. What got you interested, and when did you get interested in the heart?
Yeah, I think there is a story which is true, and many people have heard it. That first, my dad was a doctor, and I admired what he does. I mean, watched him as a little insignificant child, quiet, very quiet. People thought,
Was he an angry person? Were you terrified at some instances by him?
sorry?
Were you terrified by him? Was he an angry
I was
person?
terrified to some extent, yes, indeed. And I wanted to be a doctor. Okay. And then something happened. His younger daughter, younger sister, whom he loved and adored almost, died at the age of 22 from a narrow heart valve. And he went to pieces, nearly had a nervous breakdown. And I said, Dad, what's going on? And he said, she did not need to die. There are surgeons in the world now only starting to open narrow valves in the heart. To which I declared, okay, I'm going to be a heart surgeon. And I was like 5. And he said, ridiculous. You're not going to be a
Took
heart
me very seriously at age of 5.
So he defined me
Yes.
that I will never be a heart surgeon. He said for several reasons, I'm not going to say. But I pursued from that day on almost. I wanted to be a heart surgeon, and became a heart surgeon.
Yeah. So you later on went to Qasr Al-Aini, and you had. Would you like to speak more about your experience there at medical school?
Sorry?
Would you like to speak about your experience in medical school?
Yeah. At medical school, I really loved science and medicine, studying almost day and night, but really enjoyed learning new things. And my time at medical school, not very far from here at Asuraini, were some of my happiest days. And when I graduated, also I shared experiences in the hospital with colleagues who are still some of my very best friends up till today.
Yeah. You also had amazing professors in Qasr Al-Aini, including. Would you like to speak about some of your amazing professors at that time?
Yes, indeed. There were amazing professors. There was a professor of biochemistry who impressed us no end because he taught biochemistry during the week, but then disappeared to the villages to study nutritional diseases in villages, which stimulated us that we should be thinking of the community.
Yes, beyond medicine.
Beyond just what we learn in the books and so on, and to serve the community. I had others. Mahriz Bey was a very distinguished professor of surgery. Ali Basha Ibrahim. I can go on. There was a professor of microbiology who, again, we just loved him. And one of the most distinguished professors at that time was actually a Russian
St. Petersburg.
by the name of Andrep. We didn't know at that time how important ANREP was, because he was always doing experimental things, writing. But later on, we found out that ANREP was a white Russian, came to the UK and became a fellow of the Royal Society, and then followed his Italian wife to Egypt and loved Egypt and taught us physiology. Why am I saying this story? Because in the books today, you have the ANREP reflex, and it taught us that physiology, how the heart actually functions, is paramount importance. So I owe a lot of debt to the professors which you have just mentioned.
Interesting. So the major point, I think, in the in cardiac history has been 1967 when Christian Bernard did the first heart transplant. Tell us what was happening in your life at that time as a medical doctor, and also as someone who was witnessing how society is basically responding to this mystical organ called the heart being moved between bodies.
Sorry, I don't get your point, but I loved studying the heart, and at the beginning, when I was telling you about my dad saying some surgeons have started to, and I said, like whom? And he said there was somebody called Sir Russell Brock. He became Lord Brock. I said, okay, I'll go and work with him. And indeed, I went and worked for Lord Brock as a senior registrar in London. So I was completely intrigued by the functions and the structure of the heart. I used to read Gray's Anatomy, which is a huge book, from one end to the other, and go back again and read. Every time I discover something incredible about this, not only the heart, but the structure of the whole body. It is next to miraculous. So I was very, very interested in learning all the time.
I have a personal question out of curiosity. When was like the first patient who died while you were performing your surgery, and how did you feel about that?
Yeah. It didn't happen very often, thank God. But during the surgery, things I learned from Lord Brock, for example, is he used to say to us the same, I will teach you how not to behave sometimes, because he had some mistakes himself. And what he did was, when he started, I will go to answer your question in a minute, he would say, this is a difficult and dangerous operation. And guess what happens? We stay all day, and then the patient dies in the evening. And that taught me, with my team later on, to start every operation by saying, this is an easy and safe operation, and impress everybody, the team, and say, let us now play J.S. Bach, which is very calming music and very methodical. So that is one thing. But your question is, if I am operating myself, and what do? I concentrate entirely on the heart of the patient. I sometimes don't sleep the night before, because if it's a new operation in particular, I see it, I visualize it, and so when it comes, I just say, everybody quiet, focused on the operation, and I don't think of the child as a child. I think we have to be as safe as possible in saving this pump, as you were talking about. If it doesn't work, then I feel extremely tired. But importantly, when this happens, I always have advised my colleagues that we go straight to find the relatives, the parents, and say, we have done our very best and we done everything. And unfortunately, it did not work. And there is nothing 100%. We don't blame anybody, but we make sure that's not going to happen again, or at least much less. And importantly, make sure that the parents do not feel guilty. And I say, you parents have done all what you can, bringing this child at the right time, and we tried very hard. On one occasion, I might tell you, I was sued and went to the High Court. And that was later in my life when I was knighted. And the headline, Sir Magdi Yacoub in the High Court. How did this come about? This came about because the parents of a child brought the child to me at the age of 3 to 4 months. And I said, we need to transplant this child as soon as possible. No, they said, we will go to natural therapists who will do funny things and they will cure him. So they take the child to come back. And the next time, of course, the child is much sicker. No, we'll take him again to the natural therapist. And eventually, they come at the age of 1 year with the child in a very sorry state. So what I say, okay, this is going to be a very dangerous operation. Originally, I said it could carry a mortality of 5 to 10%. That means 95% success rate, which is not bad. Now it has gone up to 50%. Oh, please save him. 50% is fine. He's dying. Okay. So I'm just telling you the rest of this story is that a heart became available in the south of France. My team went to get the heart. Usually I used to go out myself. I stayed next to the child, but when the child's anesthetist started to anesthetize him, his heart stopped. And we could not really resuscitate well enough because the heart was huge. Within 9 minutes, we were on the heart-lung machine, but this period produced damage to the brain. And when the heart arrived, he said, what do we do? Everybody said, let us give the child a chance. Give the child a chance. Spent 3 days in the operating room resuscitating this child. He became very strong and recovered, but he had brain damage. The parents wanted help because they were working class and said, we need help at home because he tears everything apart. He was now 15 years old. And the hospital, against my advice, said, if we do that, they will say that it was the hospital fault. So they didn't. The lawyers said, okay, we take the hospital and you to the court. And we went to the court. I'm telling you all this story because I didn't dare during the trial, so-called, to say it was the parents' fault. I said, we tried hard, the parents tried hard, because we have children of our own, and we know that we should not make the parents feel guilty about, say, you have done everything. But then what we have learned from this story, that please, parents, do not go to crazy people who promise you the earth, who have no experience of anything, and say, we are natural therapists. So this can happen, and it happens with cancer patients sometimes, which is very sad indeed.
I want to ask another question out of curiosity. Have you ever operated on a family member?
I think that would be very wrong. I not only decline operating on any family member or a close acquaintance, because I would be emotionally involved. Not only that, when family members come to me and say, I am a doctor and I want to attend my dad's operation. Yes. And I say, I refuse. And they say, why do you refuse? I say, well, I'll allow you to come into the operation room to see a similar operation, but not while with your dad, because A, it will affect you emotionally. It will affect the team who know that you are there. So having a family member in the operating room, or operating yourself on a family member or a close acquaintance, is ethically wrong.
Okay. So after you moved to the UK, you went for a brief amount of time to the United States, to the University of Chicago, and then you decided to return back to the UK. What was the reason that that happened?
Okay. A slightly long story is that at that time I was very interested in research, and in those days, not now, research was more developed in the United States, and everybody used to say we should go to the US and have what we called been to America for the research. Anyway, I wanted to do research, and I applied for a position in the University of Chicago, and I was appointed as the most junior staff member, instructor, assistant professor. I enjoyed that year tremendously. But just before I got that post, I was interviewed at Harefield Hospital, one of the hospitals just outside London. And they said, you've got the job, but you can't go to Chicago. I said, no, I'm going to Chicago. And they said, okay, go out, wait a bit. Then they called me again. You got the job, and we will appoint a locum, and you come back in 1 year. So there was a promise here that I come back after 1 year. But what happens when I go to Chicago? I enjoy myself. I work with the students, and there was the students' revolt, but they loved me and I loved them. I did a lot of experimentation. I did a lot of operation. And the University of Chicago said, now we can promote you to a 10-year job where you can stay with us forever if you want. And you can write your own salary. A blank check, and we can give you any amount for research. And they said, oh my God.
Yes. Then why did you return to the UK?
Why didn't I go take that job? For more than one reason. While I enjoyed working at the University of Chicago, I didn't like the system. I didn't like the fact that a large number of people, particularly the Mexican population, did not have medical cover. And there were incidents which made me think that's just unacceptable. Whereas in the UK, the system of the National Health Service is fantastic and is really important. I think you mentioned patient-doctor relationship. The best thing is to have a very good patient-doctor relationship, because I think it is a holy relationship, very important. It's very good for the patient, it's very good for the doctor, that the doctor be the advocate of the patient and the patient trusts the doctor. That was not existing in the US, and I'm not sure it exists now, because they think that medicine is a commodity. I buy your services. I go to the supermarket and buy your services. You are a commodity. I didn't like that at all. So that was one of the reasons why. And there were other reasons, of course, at the time. Usually, my wife, I was newly married, and my wife was German, and she was saying, "Oh my God, the music and the culture in Europe is so much better." And I kept saying, "But in Chicago, we have the Chicago Symphony. We had one of the best conductors in the world." No, 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 no. It's in so that was another factor. And the last factor is I came back and said to my colleagues in London, "I am being offered all these things." So they said, "You take the offer, we will forgive you." So they make me feel small. I said, "No, I'm coming back." And I did come back.
Great.
And I never regretted it, because I can go back to the States anytime I want, and have many colleagues and collaboration.
Interesting. So I wanted also, out of how does this compare the patient doctor relationship in the US versus the UK versus a place like Egypt?
Oh, versus here.
Yeah.
Oh God, you're asking me a difficult question. I thought
I try to be spicy.
I thought you were my friend, Ahmed. Okay. I think a patient-doctor relationship in the UK is so much superior to that in the US. The doctors trust the patient. It is underfunded. It has its disadvantages. Patients wait, but they don't wait for urgent surgery or urgent. It functions, but it continues to be the best system in the world.
Oh, okay.
In terms of accessibility, because the latter part of my life until now, I'm really interested in equity in healthcare delivery. I really dedicate a lot of my time, my thinking, my efforts to equity in healthcare delivery. Now, the third thing you asked, what is it in this country? I'm not sure. I think it's in between the UK and the US. The lure of private practice, and is it a commercial thing, or is it dedicated? And I was talking about the universities. They've never taught us in the university ethics, or why are we, what are the values, why we are graduating to serve the community. It's not part of the community, the teaching here. Maybe that should change a bit. So I don't know how to answer your question.
Okay,
You released me.
Question.
Okay,
Thank
you.
Okay, so how did you are a medical doctor, you're a surgeon, and also you're a researcher. How did you make this transfer into making these philanthropic projects? Like, how did this transfer come? Because I assume these projects require a lot of managements, a lot of fundraising. How did that transformation happen?
It's not really a transformation. It is almost a natural development. Why? Because professionals, particularly heart surgeons and heart, see a massive amount of suffering firsthand. So it is natural to say, how can I alleviate that? And then you see that we have both the knowledge and the manpower to actually make that better. And then you look around the world and you find that the burden of disease falls on 80% of the population of the world, and only 20% get proper treatment. Healthcare delivery is dreadful. So who cares? We all have to care. But who pays and who works together? We have to form consortia, and professionals who see the suffering firsthand have a massive responsibility. Have I answered your question?
In a way,
Sort of.
in a way. So, for you personally, what do you think are the preventable diseases that you're working on that you think they could be quite easily treated, solved just with funding? What are your interests? So, for example, I heard about rheumatic heart diseases. This is something you're interested in?
Sorry, I still don't understand what they're going.
So what do you think are things that are preventable and that's taking more time from you in terms of research and interest?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things apart from operating and research and treatment is training, and training local people for a simple reason, which is called sustainability. So there is no good, and we learned that early on. We used to go and operate in Africa or in Central America with some of my colleagues. But after we leave, all the patients are fine, and then 3/4 of them die. And then there is no continuity. So what we have learned, the lesson is the sustainability, training people. And people are not just doctors, are nurses, scientists, engineers. The concept of a total multidisciplinary center, we started that a long time ago now. Now everybody believes in that. And I used to lecture saying, one world, many voices, even in the center. We have to be all, and we are all work as one family. And we have applied that, for example, at the Swan Heart Center with great success. We are all one family, different training and sustainability is the name of the game.
Great. How is your average day looking like? What are things that you usually do throughout your day?
Well, now?
Yes.
Now I'm growing old and I get aches and pains all the
I heard
time.
you're a swimmer.
Huh?
You do swimming daily, right?
Yeah, but I still enjoy going to Aswan at least a week or 10 days a month. Enjoy lecturing around the world, enjoying sitting with my colleagues for hours on end, deciding what to do with the patients. I still go to the operating room to advise about what to do next.
When was your last operation?
I don't do it myself.
No, but when was the last operation you did
huh?
physically? Like, when was the last operation you personally did?
I could scrub, I don't know, with on the other side of the table to help my colleague, a younger person, to do the operation. And they to my amazement, they do it eventually better than me. I said, wow, why do I scrum? But they still say, come in to advise us again. And we still fight over what we're going to do next. And so I still enjoy clinical operating, the decision making, what to do next, which is even more important. And needless to say, the research with Aswan Heart Center generates 100 peer-review papers in international journals. Wow. So we think that's really important to generate new knowledge for the world, because we're using new knowledge which was generated by the generations before us, and it's our duty to generate new knowledge for our children or grandchildren in the future. So research is fundamental and part of my daily routines, writing papers, fighting with editors, etc.
What are your hobbies?
Hobby. I used to play tennis, but when my wife, whom I've lost 10 years ago, started to beat me all the time, I stopped playing tennis. And then I still love listening to music. My daughters play beautiful the piano, so I love listening to classical music and going to opera.
Who are your favorite composers?
Sorry?
Who are your favorite composers?
More than one. The top one is J.S. Bach, for Johann Sebastian Bach.
Bach. Yeah. So you like more the Baroque period?
Huh?
It's the Baroque period.
Yeah, the Baroque period. And Mozart is another one whom I love so much.
Haven't you tried playing any instrument?
I don't play myself. I just listen.
Oh, okay.
Enjoy.
Is she good?
And
is she good?
I think she is good. Really. And she practices a lot, and when she is upset or something, she runs to the piano. And you're happy. I'm happy. I can hear. I also love gardening, growing plants, particularly orchids. And at one time I had more than 500 plants at home at the nursery. Not anymore.
What about cars? Do you still like cars? Fast cars?
Yeah, I was fascinated by fast cars. Why? I said earlier that I'm fascinated by the heart, how intricate and how efficient. But also I was fascinated by how fast cars perform, the massive power, and they can go from 0 to 60 in 5 seconds or whatever, and how all this is being achieved by V8 engines lying. So I was fascinated. And also what fascinated me about sports car is the torque, how they responded, the steering. They go around corners in a very steady, and the technicalities of all that. I didn't just like cars for the sake of liking fast car, but how they achieved all this technicality. Transverse engine lying behind you. The noise was fantastic too.
So now you despise all these electric cars that have no...
Electric cars, they're absolutely silent, and they sit in the back reading a paper.
Yeah. Is there a car you wish you own now?
Sorry?
Is there a car you wish you own?
Now?
Yeah.
No, I think of the cars I have before. The first car I had was a Lotus Elan. and the second with the Lamborghini, and I just loved the Lamborghini.
Seems medicine makes quite good amount of money, huh? Is it medicine?
And I liked the wine, and then I had a Ferrari Testarossa, and the wine of that is just like music. So these are the cars. I haven't kept up with the current cars now. I'm just a sedate old man.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. I have another question regarding what are the new technologies that you think are happening in the field of cardiac surgery or generally around the heart that you're excited for?
I think there are a lot of tools and technology which we have today, which we didn't have before. Artificial intelligence is one, of course, because you can determine from a simple electrocardiogram whether the patient has heart failure, hypertrophy, or what. So because it analyzes things in a massive way, artificial intelligence. But there are other things like molecular biology has always been interested in molecular biology to find out how molecules affect the function, and now this went on to submolecular levels, and you see how atoms and subatomic things happen, and you can see them actually with advanced microscopy. And the latest thing, of course, is gene editing.
Oh.
The gene editing now is almost magic because you can delete or insert any number of nucleotides in a gene without having a virus. So we have a system called CRISPR-Cas, which you know exactly where are you going in the gene, and that directs it, and then an enzyme which cuts it. And the good thing is vertebrates, including us, when you cut DNA, it heals. So you can cut it in two places and drop a piece of DNA and get a disease out. And the second part is induce pluripotent cells. You're making stem cells from the blood. Your own blood, you can make iPS. And in us one, we have 70 cell lines from our patient, which is amazing, of course. And we can correct the mutation in the patient, and eventually we can put it back. It's just the technology which you're talking, and the tools we have today. I wish I was much younger, working hard. The younger people will have a ball in discovering new things and benefiting humanity, so long as they don't use it for bad things.
Do you use AI now, like ChatGPT? Do you use it for even personal use?
Yes, absolutely. We use AI regularly in the clinic. In the clinic.
How helpful is it to you?
Sorry?
How helpful is it to you? Like, why do you use it, or what are the uses?
Well, I just mentioned just looking at the electrocardiogram, and that's why but it needs thousands or if not millions of data points. It reads it, but you need a lot of data as well, and have a biobank like we have. So you need a great number of human tissue or human plasma or something, and use AI to separate them into clusters and know who will respond to what, and have the so-called personalized medicine. It's fantastic.
Yes, right.
It really is.
Yes. Do you think it's going to replace doctors at one point in time?
Sorry?
Do you think it's going to replace doctors at any point in time?
No, absolutely not. Because you must ask the right question. We ask the right question. The human brain is very intricate. And so you must know what you are after. So it's not going to take over asking the right question. And I can give you an example. When I was in charge of the British Council course in London in heart surgery, I was very interested in healthcare delivery, in analysis of data, and I invited a very well-known statistician around the world. His name is Sir David Cox. Why am I telling you this story? Because I asked David, would you come and give us a lecture in the meetings I organized? And he said, no. I said, what? Why? We all use the Cox's regression analysis and see how many points we can analyze, like with artificial intelligence. And he says, for a simple reason, you are the important guys. Why are you important? Because you must ask the statistician the right questions. And if you ask me the right question and I give you the right answer, fantastic. If you ask me the right question, I give you the wrong answer, somebody else will give you the right answer. But if you ask me the wrong question and I give you the right answer, it's a disaster.
Yes.
So why am I saying that story of this David Cox? Human brain is still superior and must use artificial intelligence to answer questions. And there is artificial intelligence, you can ask it, for example, everybody gets extra systoles, ECG, every now and then. But you say, where is that coming from? You can do a lot of imaging and you might find it or might not find it. But artificial intelligence can localize it tremendously, incredibly accurately. So artificial intelligence is a tool and not going to be a replacement of our brain.
Let's see. Because I think last year's Nobel Prize, I think, was awarded to Demis Hassabis, who's basically an AI engineer. And it was basically the Nobel Prize in physiology. So they're quite competing for your Nobel Prizes currently, the engineers at least, the minds of the engineers at least. Because of our time, I think I'll just ask you a last question. I believe a lot here are basically medical students. So do you have generally an advice to current medical students?
Sorry, what do I do?
Do you have an advice to current medical students?
Yeah. Advice to medical students is to pursue their own talent. And I don't know whether I mentioned it before or not. We heard it is like, say, PPH, and they should be follow their own passion, find out, not ask everybody, what should I do next? No, you should do your own thing, and you should pursue it. Advise them is to pursue it with continuity, persistence, and be humble.
Yes, great. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you.
Thank you for the audience.